So now, off camera, I have filled in the 5 pieces here, 5.5 pieces actually, there was a little piece there. And as you go around and fill in the last piece on this particular row, you'll find that the thing will solidify a little bit because it's a more or less circular shape. So then the outside then is looking like this. It's still very soft, but you're okay. It'll dry up fairly quickly, you'll be surprised. And then I'll be pulling these sections up then, sliding that clay up, sliding this clay across to secure the different tiles of clay. So push those across, and it's not the prettiest looking thing in the world at this particular point in the process. I give you that, but I've been known to make ugly pots before, so that's fine. You win some, you lose some. So slide then the second row sideways and the bottom row up. Now we will be smoothing the outside, don't worry, it's not going to look as rough as it does at the moment. But you know, everything goes through its process, and at some point in the process of things, you know, things don't look quite as beautiful as you want them to, but stick with it, that's all right. You know, it's particularly if you haven't made anything with clay before, it's part of the process. And you lose yourself in it, you know, there's this lovely flow that comes with making stuff. And the excitement of beginning to see what it's going to turn out like. I love that bit of it. Oh, is that what it's going to be? So now, just like the first row, I'm squeezing the irregularities out of the walls of the second row, so that there's somewhat of a uniform thickness around. And then just shape it, put your knuckles in and shape the bowl into whatever shape with the curvature of the palm of your hand. Okay. So it is it's not a bad little shape, and it's got a base, you see, which I'll trim now, but no, I won't trim now, which I will trim later. I won't be trimming anything now, I'd say. It's just too soft, it has to set up. So now I'm going to look at the top edge here, and I have this idea that I'm going to leave the top edge relatively undulating, and I'm going to have it thinner than it is. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time pushing and pulling the clay on the top so that it actually is a continuous surface. You see, I have there are lots of little hollows, and I can feed in small pieces. Not that I want to make it all beautifully regular, you know me now at this stage, I don't want to make it regular. But I do certainly want to not to have regular humps and hollows in it. I think I'll turn that upside down. That'll give me a better. So these little bits then can join on. There you are, join on to the previous bits to make somewhat of a continuous edge. And I'll look and see what I'm going to do with that edge. There's another little bit here, look, that I can pop in just about there. Push it down, and then just curl it over just a little bit to make a nice edge. And I'm shaping all the time. So now I'm just in putting in these little triangular bits, I'm now thinking that the top of my bowl, I'd like it to curve in. So I'm squeezing and curving it in. So you're kind of doing two jobs at the one. time, you're filling in these little bits of V shapes, these little undulations in the side. And you're also shaping the top. And it occurs to me now that actually what I think I'll do, and this thought has just arrived, is I'm going to make the top a lot thinner than the walls, to give the illusion that this bowl is thinner than it actually is. I couldn't do it very thin because this porcelain, being lovely and soft and fresh, would just collapse on me. But I can make the top thin. I can create thinness up here. And I think actually what will probably happen is that in doing that, because of the various thicknesses and thinnesses of clay, I'll get a nice undulation on that top edge. So there we are. That's good. Okay, so it's looking nice. That's just a little bit down there, so I'm going to put a tiny little bit in there. Too much. You don't really want to have too much there. Although, mind you, I suppose it would give you a nice undulation if you wanted it. I put a bit there, squeeze it on. You know the routine now. And I'm just curving it slightly over the top there. Okay. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to curve the top in. And in doing that, I am squeezing the clay. And so I'm making the top edge thinner. There's a thick bit there, so I'll squeeze that quite a bit. Continue all around. Okay. So that's great, that's grand, and I will have to leave this now for a couple of hours, and so I'll come back on the next video, on the next section of the video, and I'll show you the next stage. But in the meantime, I'm running this tool around the edge of the internal surface to take out, you know, anomalies and little bits and goobers and things from the side, and I'm supporting it all the time with my hand on the outside. Again, as I said, you know, don't really want it perfect, but I want a nice surface so that when I glaze this later on, or I might colour the internal surface, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with it, then I will have these lines which will take up glaze and indeed take up colour too, give me little ridges and smooth out any marks I have produced from pushing the clay across to join the sections together. So that's quite nice. I sign all my work, so we'll do a little signature with, I have one of these little needle tools. I think actually they're dentistry tools, but they're very, very useful for incising, which I'll show you later in another video. So in the signature goes. There we are. That's that. Okay, so that's as far as I can bring it for the moment. I might do a little bit of work on the outside, again holding No, I'm doing it the wrong way so you can't see it, I think. That might be better. Smoothing up the clay on the outside. I want to hide a lot of the marks that are appearing on it, but I don't want it, as I said, I don't want it perfect. And when this sets up, in other words, when it gets a little drier, I can then look to using one of those, where have I got it? Here you are. One of those little kitchen pads, wetting it and then sandpapering almost the surface to get rid of a lot of marks. And then I have a natural sponge, which I will then put on that. So my intention is to decorate some of the, decorate the outside surface with some marks, or maybe sgraffito, scratching designs into it. We'll have to wait and see what mood I'm in to see what happens with that. Okay. Be safe, mind yourselves, and look out for others. And I'll see you tomorrow again. Okay, ciao, ciao, bye.